If you're looking for the best Seagull acoustic guitar, here's a list you must see. We made this list based on our personal preference and sorted it based on their features, prices, quality, durability, and reputation of the manufacturers and customer feedback. Also, we've included options for every type of customer. So let's get started. At the first position of our list, we have Seagull S6 Original Acoustic Guitar Limited Edition Tennessee Red. Seagull isn't an old brand, but it's safe to say that Godin wanted to preserve the traditional sound and design of his guitars, which we can clearly see with the S6 Original. This particular model was released at a certain point in time somewhere around the 1990s, when it flocked the markets worldwide. It was a relatively cheap guitar of formidable quality, made of selected tone woods which offered great sound and sturdiness. Even today, the S6 is among the best Seagull guitars you'll find on the market. The Seagull S6 Original sports a solid cedar top, a double-action truss rod, a tusk nut, a compensated saddle, and a tapered headstock. Judging by its features, the S6 Original offers great intonation, a stable soundstage with clearly noticeable mids and not overly pronounced highs. Initially, we thought that Seagull's engineers made at least a dozen adjustments over the years, but it seems that the original S6 is, well, the same as the original. Let's talk about its build for a while. Now, it's only natural to expect a certain level of sturdiness from a mid-price guitar such as S6. But it's safe to say that this particular model is as robust as they make them. Apart from being able to withstand some serious punishment, the S6 Original doesn't compromise between sturdiness and sound. Rather, it melds the aforementioned qualities in a perfect blend of near perfection. Moving on to the next at number 2 with Seagull Entourage Autumn Burst Acoustic Guitar. At first glance, Entourage looks plainly amazing. The Autumn Burst finish helps it excel in aesthetics like no other, and you just can't feel indifferent about how it looks. Regardless, we're mainly concerned with the quality of this guitar in general, its durability, playability, sound, and so on. Entourage features a solid spruce top. Both back and sides are made of wild cherry. It sports a tapered headstock, tusk nut, as well as a compensated saddle, and a dual-function truss rod. Overall, this is a great set of features. Entourage offers a different sound. You might love it, you might not like it as much as the rest of us, but you certainly can't hate it per se. With excellent reverberations and sustain aplenty, Seagull's Entourage will definitely take you on an exquisite journey. Now let's talk about its durability. We did say that Entourage is a bit flimsier in comparison to S6 Original, but the latter had set the standard pretty high up. With that in mind, know that this particular model sports a durable, sturdy build all around. The number 3 position is held by Seagull Merlin Mahogany SG Dulcimer Guitar Natural. If you're an immediate beginner, it might take a while before you get to appreciate the mellow sound Merlin provides. On top of that, what you'll like straight off the bat is its absolutely unparalleled playability. Despite the fact that there are fewer strings on board, the frets are pretty big, and the gaps between strings are more than adequate. It packs a top made of solid mahogany, a string-through body made of rock maple, the same goes for the neck, a tusk nut, and a satin finish. Like we've mentioned earlier, Merlin's forte is its portability combined with compactness. It won't take up too much of your space at home, and you can easily carry it with you wherever you go. Perfect for trips and vacations, among other things. Seagull's Merlin belongs to the medium bracket of the affordable price point category. Though it costs just a little bit more than a toy-like acoustic practice guitar, it holds a huge value for the buck. Next at number 4, we have Seagull S6 Original QI Guitar. What's more, the main features of S6 cone are very similar to that of the S6 Original. The top is made of solid cedar, back and sides made of wild cherry. Both the fingerboard and the bridge are made of rosewood, and then there's the infamous tusk nut complementing the compensated saddle. So far, we've seen no differences. The first striking difference is the fact that S6 cone is a semi-acoustic guitar. Now, the original did have this ability, so we've concluded that this is the reason why the price tag was a bit higher up. Apart from that, the second difference is the semi-gloss lacquer finish, though it doesn't affect the performance too much. Seagull's S6 cone is the first guitar in our review which belongs to the expensive price point category. Though costly, it's worth every single cent. The number 5 position is held by Seagull S6 Classic Dreadnought Acoustic Electric Guitar. Here we're looking at yet another variation of the undisputed S6, the classical dreadnought. This is a big one, and it's different from the original one in more ways than what meets the eye. Let's take a closer look, shall we? We've just discussed what makes S6 and S6 cone different since the topic was all but obvious. But that's not the case here. Even though it's true that the classical dreadnought sports the same pack of features like the original, its design plays a vital role in how differently it performs in comparison to the former. First of all, let's clear the air with some tech talk. This guitar rocks a non-cutaway dreadnought body and an exemplary set of electronics. Even though it's a bit bulky and perhaps heavy for most beginners, its larger body leaves room for deeper reverberations and more exquisite harmonics. Suffice to say, you'll love the tone. The acoustics of classical dreadnought is phenomenal. But what really takes the cake is the electronic hardware setup. Namely, this is one of the finest semi-acoustic dreadnoughts Seagull ever invented. As for the usual, the robustness, outlook, and the price, it's safe to say that all of the performance aspects are on point, to say the very least. The number 6 position is dominated by Seagull Coastline S12 Cedar 12-string acoustic guitar. In essence, Seagull's Coastline series had earned much praise among advanced and veteran guitar players, and rightly so if we might add. This series houses some of the most innovative acoustic guitar models, among which we've picked the S12 semi-acoustic for the purpose of our review. Generally speaking, 12-string guitars are usually delicate, so we expected quite a few surprises to come our way when we've taken a gander at the S12. It sports a dreadnought body. Just like our previous pick, the top is made of pressure-tested cedar, both back and sides are made of wild cherry. Again, like most S-series Seagull guitars, but this time the neck is made of silver leaf maple. The fretboard is made of premium quality rosewood material and rocks 21 frets. Tuscanel and nut are also commonly used by Seagull engineers, and the Coastline S12 is not an exception. With a natural custom polish finish, we can safely say that this is one of the most beautiful Seagull guitars ever made. Lastly, this is a semi-acoustic guitar, packing Godin's QI electronic hardware. Moving on to the next at number 7 with Seagull Coastline CH Momentum HG Acoustic Electric Guitar. Both the price tag and the main specs outfit remain the same as with the original. The top is made of solid cedar. The back and sides are made of wild cherry, although this time around the cherry is not tinted like it was with earlier Seagull guitar models. This was, presumably, done so as to accentuate the beauty of the grain of tonewoods. Just like the previous Coastline model, this one also features a silver leaf maple neck integrated, not glued into the body. It's slightly wider than a neck of virtually all Seagull guitars, improving the unmatched playability these guitars boast. You already know what the other features are: chestnut and saddle, rosewood fingerboard, and so on. Now, we were quite surprised to see that Godin used a different electronic hardware set for the Coastline CH Momentum. This time around, they implemented the Sonotone hardware system, which is, suffice to say, beyond formidable considering the price range. Layman and beginner guitarists wouldn't notice the difference between Momentum and, for example, classical dreadnought or S12. This particular model boasts a concert body type, which is absolutely ideal for live performances. Furthermore, it packs a great set of electronics to spice things up even further. Now, what we really liked about the Momentum is its outstanding playability. As you've probably figured by now, most Seagull guitars are very fun to play, but the Concerto variant, the Momentum, is undoubtedly the most playable Seagull guitar so far. The number 8 position is held by Seagull La Patrie Etude QI. Initially, we thought that La Patrie Etude wasn't made by Seagull since it wasn't available on their official site, but after scrounging through the market, we found out that our assumptions were incorrect. Basically, La Patrie features a solid cedar top, which is the first clear indicator of Seagull craftsmanship, a mahogany neck, and a fretboard made of rosewood. What's different about La Patrie is the fact that back and sides are made of laminated mahogany instead of wild cherry. What's more, we've found quantum electronic hardware on board, the so-called QI, which is a patented Seagull piece of technology. So there's no doubt about it. This is yet another fine example of what Godin is capable of. We've managed to dig up some very interesting info about La Patrie series. Namely, each guitar from this generation is made of extremely old trees, some of which are even 800 years old. That's perhaps one of the reasons why they are such a rare find. On top of that, the lightweight finish boosts the playability, which is already great. But what we really liked about this guitar is the unparalleled resonance it offers. Though it might not be as famous as others, La Patrie Etude is one of Seagull's best-sounding guitars. Next at number 9, SWS Mahogany Burnt Umber Acoustic Electric Guitar. The Maritime SWS series has only 5 models, and we've deliberately picked the Burnt Umber GT from the bunch not only because it looks the finest, but it also sounds the best. Since this generation of Seagull guitars is among the latest, we knew that the majority of the features would be the same as with the original: solid spruce top, mahogany body, chestnut, they're all there. Now, the fretboard is a bit different. It's made of exotic Indian rosewood. The same goes for the neck, which is made of Honduran mahogany. These exquisite materials atop the semi-gloss custom finish are responsible for the amazing outlook of the Maritime SWS Burnt Umber. Its build is quite impressive, and the sound is more than you'd bargain for. The Maritime SWS Burnt Umber packs a formidable set of features which provide a well-balanced soundstage. Now, as for the obvious, this model, subjectively speaking, one of the most beautiful Seagull guitars we've had a pleasure of reviewing. The so-called burnt umber finish will make your audience or friends marvel in awe, and that's putting it mildly. Finally, the number 10 position is dominated by Seagull Excursion Walnut 12-string Acoustic Electric Guitar 2. This particular model packs 3 layers of laminated hardwood on top of a silver leaf maple neck, a rosewood fingerboard, and burn-stamped rosette. In comparison to the notorious S6 Slim, this model has a slightly smaller nut, making it ideal for players who prefer traditionally styled guitars. The semi-gloss finish only contributes to the already great outlook, although this is not the sphere of performance where the Excursion 12-string excels the most. First of all, let's compare S6 as our top pick to Excursion 12-string acoustic guitar. Firstly, we'll notice that both models pack an almost identical set of features. They also belong to the same price range, and it's safe to say that their value for the buck is, to say the very least, equal. Now, the first real difference is that the latter comes supplied with an electric hardware element, meaning that it's more suitable for live performances. On top of that, the Excursion is a minimalistic guitar which is, despite having a set of 12 strings, well suited for guitars of all skill levels, beginners and pros alike. We really like the complementary features this bundle offers as well. There's a free gig bag, as well as a guitar stand. That's all for today. We upload music product review videos every single day, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for the upcoming video notification.